Hello, and welcome back to another episode of my Haas Driver Career Mode. Today, it is the Monaco Grand Prix, the jewel in the Formula 1 calendar, the bane of my existence. I've got way too much energy at the moment. So, let's get going in for qualifying. Let's expend some of this energy. We've offset our laps a little bit to try and get a completely clear track, which is exactly what we've done. Try and set a banker, then quickly get round back to the pits to set a second lap if we need it, which, to be honest, I think we might. This hasn't been my tidiest of laps around Monaco for the start, but we set a purple first sector. What? That is completely insane. I haven't turned the AI down or anything compared to what I normally do. Although I am thinking about turning it up after the last few races. I started it on 95 and we're going to maybe move it up to 97. I'll see how Spain goes, but that's my thoughts at the moment. As now at the end of our first qualifying lap, we cross the line, say 1:12.2, which is the fastest time in Q1 then, but Carlos Sainz just pips us to the line for the top spot in Q1. Our teammate Nico Hülkenberg in 10th. We're about 4 tenths ahead of him as we have a braking system fault. Or no, sorry, a fuel system fault. Which means we are going to have to set our lap a little bit later than everyone else. Can we repeat what we did in Q1? I think the only reason we were that far up is because the track evolution might be quite high, as it rained in practice 3, so the track should be completely green. So the more and more people that set laps, the higher and higher we should go up the grid. As we once again set the fastest first sector. Our Haas working really well around this Monaco Grand Prix, completely 50-50 wings around this circuit. Let's see what we can do. We're in 15th at the end of this. Can we try and pull ourselves up a little bit? Coming towards the end of now, through the swimming stall section, up to Rascasse. Trying to brake as late as we can. Rascasse, always a difficult corner for me. Not quite confident on the brakes through there. Touch the wall on the right-hand side. Now the run to the line. DRS activated. We're going to cross the line to go into P4. As qualifying is now complete. And we are in the middle of our lap. But we're out so far back. All the cars across the line. And we know we're through, so we're going to back out of this lap. Try and save a set of tyres to use at the start of Q3 that are only slightly worn. And maybe therefore save a little bit of time for the last races. Nico Hülkenberg is out in 15th. He wasn't able to set a representative lap time, which means that we are the sole Haas in Q3. As now, let's get ready. DRS activated. As we come up to the line for our banker lap in Q1, which is going to be a 1:12.987. Really not a good lap. That's, I suppose, P9 though, so we have a little bit of a banker. As now, let's get ready for our final lap. Turn 1, Sandalot. Just about cut the curb, just about keep it on the track, keep a wheel on the track. We're a 10th up, going into Casino Square. Now, right down through the right-hander, down the hill. Cut a little bit across the bump there. Right now, breaking that little yellow mark on the side. Keep it tight to the wall. Open it up on the exit, down to the hairpin. As now we're into the chicane. My least favourite part on the track. We're a little bit down through there. We're only improving this lap. A lap on old tyres by 5 times. We're down on the lap. This is not the perfect. Coming out the swimming pool chicane. Can we find any more time? Vault the curve. The car starts to slide away from us into the wall. 10th up. Can we find time? Yes, we can. Through Rascasse into the final straight. 4 tenths up. 4.5 tenths up. Can we find any more on the straight? Yes, we can. A little bit more. 4.5 tenths up as we cross the line. And that is P6 on the grid around Monaco. That is an absolutely massive result. It's about 14 positions higher than I thought we would be, but let's get going. Go to Crofty.
Once again today, home to the world famous Monte Carlo casino that first opened in 1863. And of course a certain road race first held in 1929. There's no greater an occasion, no more valuable a win than the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1-mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than inches from the race-ending barriers. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, the engineer, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Ocon, Joe, Sainz, Hülkenberg, Gasly, Tsunoda, Albon, Sargent, De Vries, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Okay guys, so we're going to be starting on the hard tyres, similar to Verstappen and Perez around us. We're going to be trying to go for the mediums around lap 22-23 area, but maybe we could go a little bit earlier, see where we can end up, because the undercut I feel is going to be very, very powerful in this race. But now lining up for the start, we're alongside Checo. We got Verstappen right ahead of us. We go to 3, 4, 5 red lights as we go green in Monaco. Good start on the hards for ourselves. We get past Verstappen and Leclerc immediately. Both Mercedes stay in their 1 and 2 positions. No swapping up at the front. Apart from ourselves, who's going to 3rd place. Can we keep up with the Mercedes on the medium tyres? They'll have better grip to start off with. But every single lap, we're going to be getting closer and closer and closer to their pace. As we are now solidly in P3. Verstappen in P5. We brake really late. Get right onto the back of Russell. But he gets a better exit into the hairpin now. As Russell is now right ahead of us. We now just to settle into this race. Don't make any mistakes. And we should be able to pretty much stay in this position. Maybe have to defend a little bit from Leclerc in the first few laps of this race. But as soon as their tyres start going off, we're going to be right in this race. Maybe potentially able to get past Russell once his tyres go off. But for now, we are just going to have settling as we go right through the Monaco Harbour, through the swimming pool section now. As we are just looking to try and maximise our points in this race. Hopefully, maybe try and get on the podium. Which, to be honest, at this point is probably the minimum that we're looking to do. Maybe even try and go for the win around Monaco, which would just be absolutely insane. We slide the back end through the final corner as we're now on to the straight. Lewis Hamilton leads this race from George Russell, ourselves, and then Max Verstappen is in 5th. You can see pretty decent tyre wear, 3% a lap on hards, really isn't that bad around Monaco. It's a little bit worse than what we would have liked to, but we have brought I think we've brought 1 or 2 tyre wear upgrades to Monaco, so hopefully we can keep these tyres in the window for as long as we can, as we are sticking with the Mercedes. We may not be in DRS range, but we are just on the cusp of that 1 second gap, as we are slightly pulling a gap to Charles Leclerc behind. So we're now more in no man's land than anyway. We've got a second to Charles Leclerc behind, just dipping in and out of a second throughout the lap. We've got about 1.5 seconds to the car ahead, which, to be honest, was kind of expected. The Ferraris, I believe the Mercedes has actually gone above Ferrari in the R&D chart, so we're a lot closer to the Ferrari than we are the Mercedes. But hey, we can't really do anything. As to be honest, this race is pretty boring. It's basically just trying to keep it out the wall the whole time, and you should do a pretty decent job. Leclerc just behind us. He's probably playing it a bit more aggressive on the mediums, trying to put them to good use, as we're just trying to survive on the hards for now until we can maybe get a bit of a better turn of pace than the cars around us who are all on mediums. Verstappen is one of the drivers that I'm particularly looking at, as he is on the hard tyres as well, which means that we are definitely going to have a problem with him later on unless we do something drastic. Our pit window is lap 21 to 28. So basically anything in that position we're pretty good. If we box now, we would come out in P20. So we're looking around where the hairpin is, where we would come out if we box at this stage. But we're nowhere near boxing at this point. We basically just got to keep slugging on, get through these laps, not crash the car, and just try and manage these gaps as much as we can. Push a little bit later on. As you can see, the gaps are slowly coming down, but our tyres aren't the best either on lap 17 as we go for a bold move. We're going to box off the hards before the medium runners, and we are going to put the medium set of tyres on to go for the undercut. I mean, it was a risky strategy, but we got to do it. Can we get the undercut? Hopefully we don't come out in too much traffic that we're going to have to overtake. But for now, let's get out of this pit lane. Let's see where we're going to come out. The Aston Martin goes through. The Alpine goes through. Where else? Who else is going to go through? Our teammate comes out just behind us, which is good for us because we're in a similar pace car. We don't want to be behind Hulkenberg because it will be probably very hard to pass him. Although we have had the pace in the car for ourselves this weekend. Hulk hasn't been that far off our pace. So getting ahead of him is a really good point. As can we get past Ocon now? So we're going to go up the inside of Ocon at the hairpin. Better tyres, better grip, and we're straight through on the Alpine. Next up is the Aston Martin. I believe it's Lance Stroll in that particular Aston Martin. As we just got to put the burners on, get as much pace as we can out of the car, out of the tunnel now. Stroll massively closing up to him in the braking zone. It went from about 6 tenths to about 3.5 tenths that we have closed in the braking zones. Now through the swimming pool section, we're right behind him. We're closing. Can we get the big enough gap? Can we go for that dive bomb at La Rascas? Yes, we can. Through on Stroll into P9. We basically just got to keep setting the laps now. 2 McLarens up next of Norris and Piastri. Charles Leclerc comes into the box. He was a second behind us when he boxed, and he's already over 2 seconds behind us. We know that because he's behind Ocon. He's behind our teammate. So we are definitely gaining time on Leclerc. Can we gain similar time on the Mercedes? They haven't boxed yet. Hopefully these 2 McLarens don't hold us up too much as we go up the inside of Lando Norris. Can we do a similar move that we did to Ocon on Piastri in the hairpin? No, he's just too far ahead. But we just got to not lose as much time as we can on these McLarens. Coming into the chicane now. Braking much later than Piastri as he's on his old tyres. A little bit of corner cut there. We don't get a warning for it though, so we survive this lap. And now Lewis Hamilton is into the pits. Let's see where we are going to come out. Have we jumped the Mercedes in the pits? Let's see. There he goes into the pit lane. Let's see what his pit stop is going to be like. Will it be a good stop? Will it be a slow stop? We're praying for a slow stop for the Mercedes. It's pretty slow, but it's still a decent stop. Well, I bet we'll probably... I'm gonna be confident in myself. I think we're gonna get ahead of him. I think we are going to get ahead of him. Can we get ahead of him? He's coming out of the pit lane now. I can't even see myself in the background. I might have been completely wrong in the situation. Out comes Spitz. There we are. We're right behind him. He's going to be on cold hards. We're going to be warmed up. Fresh mediums, or freshest mediums. They're about 4 laps old now. 3 or 4 laps old now. Can we close the gap to Hamilton? 1.2 seconds. He was almost 2 seconds ahead of Russell. If we're 1.2 seconds behind Hamilton, Russell's still doing another lap. We are definitely going to undercut Russell by a large margin. Perez is in third up ahead. He's a while away, so he's not going to affect Hamilton in any way. The only way we're going to get past him is on pure pace. Can we do it? The Mercedes has a better car than us. Lewis Hamilton is definitely a better driver than us. But can we get him? As you see, we get ahead of Russell there. But we're closing right in on Hamilton. We set the fastest middle sector of the race. Hamilton up ahead. Russell is 2.5 seconds behind us, and he's losing time through every corner. His tyres just aren't heated up yet. We're gaining time, so we're also in the slipstream of Hamilton. Can we shape for the move anywhere on the track? We're looking for the move every opportunity, getting closer and closer and closer every lap. We need to make the move, hopefully, before our tyres go off, which I assume will probably be around at lap 27 to 30, which is about where... It's about 13 or 14 laps, but hopefully we can keep the tyres. And you see we're closing in at every opportunity into the chicane. We're definitely closing in out of the tunnel. We're always closing and closing and closing. Hamilton only 2.5 tenths ahead of us now. Can we shape for the move? Maybe into Sandavot. Out of the swimming pool now. Coming into La Rascasse as on lap 24. George Russell sets the fastest lap of the race as Hamilton is still ahead of us. His tyres are definitely setting a bit of a better pace now. As now Verstappen steals the fastest lap of George Russell. Will he be able to close in to the Mercedes? That will probably be good for us if they start fighting, because that's just going to give us the option to focus entirely on the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. We are so close to the rear wing of the Mercedes every lap, but we just can't have the opportunity to get past him. Let's see, out of the tunnel, can we get the run on Hamilton? He just has so much of a better exit through the tunnel, but we're better on the brakes. It's now on to lap 26 of 39, 27 now into Sandavot. You can see Hamilton just starting to pull away now. I expected to break the 1 second gap on either this lap or the next one. As you can see, Russell is also right behind us. He is definitely closing in as well. If he can get past us, he might be able to challenge Hamilton for the win, maybe on those one lap of the sauce. We're going to try as hard as we can to not let that happen. We want to secure P2 in this race and Haas's first ever podium in Formula 1. As Hamilton is definitely pulling away now, as he's almost second away now, as he is cleared off into the tunnel. By lap 32, Russell is right on our tail. Verstappen's closing in on us at a rate of knots, but I don't think it's going to be enough for Verstappen to fully close in on us. Russell, however, is right behind us. We might not have the gap to stay ahead of Russell, but it is Monaco. Daniel Ricciardo has shown that you can do it. You can win the race with half the car by just defending. As now out of the pits comes Lando Norris, a back marker who's just put on a new set of soft tyres. As we hit the wall there, Norris on a fresh set of softs. He might be a problem here unless he gets blue flags for us, because he's going to be rapid. Norris AI very good on this game. The McLaren very good as well, but he is a back marker at the moment. Can he maybe challenge Hamilton? Maybe hold him up a bit. As now on lap 34, we're going to go on board Lando Norris. He's going to go try and do a move on the race leader on these new softs. They're going to be side by side through pretty much every corner into the hairpin. Little bit of wheel banging there. There's side by side contact between the Mercedes and the McLaren. Can Hamilton keep with him? Maybe Norris drags him along, but that has allowed us to close in quite a bit more. Norris goes through the tunnel. Hamilton right behind him, and Norris has cleared the race leader. We've caught up quite a lot. Can we close the gap to Hamilton? You can see we're right on the back of him now, under a second now. Will this allow us to pull right back in? We'll have the DRS on Hamilton on lap 35. Can we try and shape for the move into Sandavot? DRS active, ERS active, but you can see our tyres are definitely not the tyres to be on. Hamilton pulling away so easily. We go for the massive dive bomb, but Hamilton just blocks us off. It was a very audacious move, but if Hamilton had given us a bit more space, I'm pretty sure I could have pulled the move off. But hey, he did what he needed to do. He defended us from us. It was a risky move. It was a very Max Verstappen 2015 style move, but hey, it's our first season. We got to risk these things. We're fighting for a win around Monaco in our first season in a Haas. Yeah, come on, you just got to think about that. We're fighting for a win. We're going to be desperate. We charge the ERS up a bit on that lap 37. Can we go for the move? No, we can't. He's just a bit too far ahead, and he's getting the exit out of every corner, but we're using Slipstream and ERS to just close in a bit by bit. Russell has fallen off the back of us a little bit. He's 1.8 seconds behind, 1.6 now. He is really closing in as Hamilton just ahead of us now. Can we shape for the move anywhere on our fellow Brit? It's right now a British 1-2-3 in this race. We're right up behind Hamilton. Russell's right up behind us, and Verstappen isn't that far behind. If we start fighting, which we're hoping to try and do, Verstappen might be able to just shove his nose in this race, but Hamilton just has the pace on those hard tyres. And right now I'm thinking in my mind, if I'd boxed just one lap earlier, would I have been able to get past him? I don't know. It's a what if in this race. But now on lap 39, the final lap of the Grand Prix, Hamilton has done an amazing job to defend from us on much faster tyres. But for now, Hamilton gets P1. We get P2. Haas's first podium in Formula 1. Our first podium in Formula 1. And it comes at the Monaco Grand Prix. The jewel of the Formula 1 calendar. We get driver of the day. P6 to P2. What a race for ourselves. It's a full British podium as Lewis Hamilton wins in Monaco. It's a 1-3 for Mercedes, but the stars of the show are definitely ourselves and Haas, who pick up our first podium in Formula 1, as that is just an amazing showing from ourselves. Let's see if we can do a little bit more, do a little bit better in Spain. Hamilton wins for the first time since Saudi Arabia in 2021, almost a year and a half ago, canonically in this game save. We come second for Haas's inaugural podium, as let's get going. We're hoping to carry this momentum into Spain, maybe try and get on the podium again. We definitely have the car to do it, because the car is feeling good and we can fight for these podiums. As we've shown, it is Monaco, but hey, we got to try it. Well guys, if you have enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Trying to get these videos out once every 2 days, but right now a lot of stuff's going on. Might not be completely on time, but we are now taking P4 in the Constructors from Alpine, and we are now P7 in the Drivers' Championship, and we're only about, what are we, 24 points away from the next car in front. We could put ourselves right up the order in the Drivers' Championship. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.